What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin movie show. This is just a web series where we're talking about movies that matter to me. In this episode, I'm going to give you a top 10 list, and I'll be ranking the 10 Star Wars films. Now, I know that some of you guys will be saying, wait a minute, there are actually 11 Star Wars films because there's also the Clone Wars, which is the animated film, which was released in theaters. I'm not going to include that. I know it's part of the canon, but I'm only ranking the 10 live-action Star Wars films, which includes the 8 Skywalker Saga episodes and also the 2 Star Wars stories, because now that Solo, a Star Wars story is out, there are now 10 live-action Star Wars films. So we're going to start with number 10, and that is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is my least favorite of the Star Wars films. I still think it's a good movie, but there are some things that really don't work for me. The thing is that me watching Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in the theaters was absolutely magical. It was an amazing experience, which led me to watch the film 7 times in the theater. But this movie, now that I look back at it, is definitely plagued with problems. I still love the Darth Maul fight, but I thought that that pod race was way too long. Jake Lloyd is not great of an actor, and there's just a lot of things that I felt were really just, they don't work for me. Number 9, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, it did get better. This is definitely a better, like an improvement from Episode 1, but still, now that we have Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, I just felt that the acting and the dialogue delivery and the script was really subpar. And a lot of stuff in there also didn't work for me. But I still ended up watching this film, I think 3 or 4 times in the theater, because at the end of the day, it was still Star Wars. But there was just a lot of questionable things in there. But I did love that climactic finale. That was pretty awesome. Number 8. Solo, a Star Wars story. I think it's a good film. It's a solid addition to the Star Wars live-action universe, but it still is not an outstanding film. It's not a great film, but still a good film. I think it complements the original trilogy very, very well, but there are definitely things that I felt could have been improved. It's still in the theaters right now, so go check it out and you'll see what I mean. Number 7, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, this is a film that I really liked. Even though Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor and Natalie Portman, they still don't really have that, those really great acting chops. I think that their chemistry is not very great, at all. I think that Natalie Portman is a great actress, and Ewan McGregor is a great actor. And when given the right material, they can really do outstanding work. But with George Lucas's script, it didn't. It really just feels like, oh man, what is going on here? Their dialogue delivery is just not very good, but still, this is still a really great movie. It's the more emotional film out of the prequels, and I still feel there are a lot of great moments to the point where I feel like this is actually a great movie. George Lucas did a great job with this film. The script could use some work, the acting could use some work, but really, that's the only 2 problems I have with it, script and acting. So there you have it. Number 6. Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I thought that The Last Jedi was an outstanding film. I really liked this film a lot, and I know why a lot of fans didn't like it. It feels the most different from the Star Wars films, but that's why I liked it, actually. I liked that it felt so fresh. I felt that I liked that it was so different that it just felt like a very unique experience. I really liked it, and it had a lot of homages and things that really brought me back to the originals. So therefore, The Last Jedi is definitely right up there. I think I watched it 4 or 5 times in the theaters, all in IMAX 3D. Number 5, Return of the Jedi. Now, this is considered the weakest of the original trilogy, but this is still a really great film. This is a film that really just puts Star Wars on a really grand scale because of there was battles on 3 fronts: the lightsaber duel, the Endor battle, the space battle with the, taking out the Death Star. All that combined just made it to a really, really amazing film. And even though it's the weakest of the original trilogy, I really loved it. And I'm sure a lot of fans love it as well. Number 4, Rogue One. Wow, I did not expect that. This is the first in the Star Wars story spin-off films, but this complemented A New Hope really, really well. And a lot of fans will agree that this was required viewing before Rogue One. The only weak thing I thought I felt well, the weakest element of this film was really just like, as much as I really liked those characters, you know, it was kind of like it's kind of like an X-Men film where, you know, all these characters are thrown in, but you don't really get to know a lot about them. They're just part of the team. And I think that they were written well, but we don't know enough about them. You kind of want to learn more about them, where they came from and who they really are, but they're just there. But at the end of it all, they still contribute to a very like grand cause, which was still a great thing. So very, very awesome. Rogue One was quite an experience when I watched it in the cinemas. It was just like, wow, I can't believe all this stuff was happening. And it was definitely a film that really just brought me back to the originals. Number 3, The Force Awakens. I saw The Force Awakens, I think 4 times. Also 4 or 5 times, I can't remember exactly. I loved it. I thought it was such a great film. I thought it was a really, really amazing theatrical experience, and I love what J.J. Abrams did. A lot of hardcore fans will disagree, and they didn't like that. It felt like a rehash, but those are the things that really made me feel like it was, you know, I love those homages and tributes. It brought me back to the original, but that is still a weak point for me because, you know, why couldn't they do something entirely new? If they did something entirely new, then, you know, I would have felt that like this I'll give it a higher score, but still, I still felt amazing when I saw those familiar elements. So I don't know, like I'm kind of conflicted there, but at the end of the day, I came out with a very, very positive experience. Number 2, the very original film that came out in 1977, Star Wars: A New Hope. I was rewatching it recently, and I was watching it in a 65-inch 4K TV upconverted from a 4K Blu-ray player, and it was like a brand new experience for me. It just felt like I was really connected with everything that was going on, and when I was watching, I just felt that this is a really great movie. Like, you really like feel these characters, and you see that they're going through this amazing adventure that you connect with everything that is going on, and watching it on that big screen in the crystal clarity that the 4K was able to upconvert, it made me feel like I was watching this film for the first time, and it was just such an awesome experience. It made me feel like this is really, really a great film, like a truly outstanding sci-fi movie experience. And which brings me to number 1, and you guys already know it is Empire Strikes Back. That's episode 5. Now this is, I would say, the one of those very, very rare moments where the sequel outdoes the original. I love Empire Strikes Back, and I'm sure a lot of fans also love it as well, and they feel like this is the best Star Wars film, and it still is. And that's all because of all the new things that this film introduces, and the fact that this had the most amazing twist ending in cinematic history. I mean, who would have seen that coming? It's just such an amazing story development, and you really connect with the characters. This is a very character-driven film, just because like all these characters develop in so many ways. You know, Han and Leia's romance, and Luke learning about so many different things for his character and his father, and it's just, there's just so much in there. So what a great film. It didn't have to be the most action-packed film. The fact that I connected with all these characters and saw their journey in such an intimate way, it really made me feel like this is a film that like really brought me to like into the story. So Empire Strikes Back is the #1 film out of all 10 Star Wars films. So there you have it. I want to know what your ranking is. Let me know in the comments section below how you would rank the 10 Star Wars films. We have episode 9 coming out in a year and a half from now, so one of those films is going to have to get bumped off. So I just want to know what your top 10 Star Wars films would be. Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, that's all I got to say in this episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.